All right. Reviews. All right, we got WandaVision episode 1 and 2.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go over it like scene by scene because I really don't remember it, but I remember key points to it, and it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen Legion. You ever seen the show Legion?
Yes, some of it. It's been a while since I watched it.
Remember
I watched
the first episode?
season.
Remember the first episode? How weird it was. It was like, what the fuck was going on? But then when it came out of it, it's like, oh shit. I think it's one of those. Because it's a lot of course they're like, mimicking the, what was it, like the 1940s, 1950s
40s TV shows, like Dick Van Dyke shows or something. Yeah.
So I guess that throws a lot of people off. But if y'all don't know about Wanda, she has a tendency to trap herself in her own mind. And that's pretty much what's happening. I mean, you've seen when she was pregnant. That's giving off House of M vibes, because she definitely had one of those things where she had a kid, and then Professor X came and was like, yo, you gotta stop. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, oh, this is fake, like you're just imagining this shit, this ain't real. So it's one of those things, and they have like certain sudden hints that I don't know what it's about. Like the calendar says August 23rd with a heart on it. I don't know what that's about yet.
I don't know what that is about either.
Yeah, they had, every time something happens, you hear like an earthquake sound, and then some bullshit happens outside. Like it was some dude that came out of the sewer with some bees on. I was like, what the fuck was that
about? So I'm guessing what's happening. I don't know if she's working. She must be working with so if you notice, there's a sword symbol. So sword is somehow involved with this. I guess maybe they're trying to help her or get her out or whatever. Sword is the basically space version of Shield. That Nick Fury was on the ship at the end of Spider-Man, I believe. He was in there, so he built Sword because Sword and Shield, because Shield protects Earth from Earth shit, and then Sword protects Earth from space shit. So I'm guessing she's in she made like some type of bubble dimension that's probably sitting somewhere. And I think that explosion is them probably trying to force their way in there. And I think that's why every time this happens is them trying to get in to help her or something like that.
Yeah.
And then if you notice in all the commercials, they're tied to events in her life.
Yeah.
So the Tony Stark Industry toaster was beeping like a bomb, because if you remember in Ultron, they said I think there's like a bomb that blew up, and I think that's what killed their parents, and then sat there, and I think they weren't sure if it was going to detonate, so that's why that shit was beeping like a bomb like that. So that's like memories. And then Strucker is a guy that gave her and Quicksilver their powers so like all that stuff is tied in together. And I don't know if she has more control over this than we think, because obviously, because at the end of the second episode, that's when the beekeeper comes out the sword. And I'm guessing he's somebody from Sword, because I think he had the sword emblem on the back of that outfit. And maybe once he entered, it's probably like a hazmat suit, but once he entered, it probably morphed into like a beekeeper thing. Right. But then when she sees him, she's like, no. And then she rewinds the time, or rewinds the episode basically back to a happy moment. So I'm guessing what happened is, obviously Vision died, and she's in grief. She's grief stricken. Her brother's dead. So I think she just got a lot of grief, and she's like basically made a world where he's back alive. And
her brother?
Vision, because we don't know how Vision came back.
But do you think we'll see Quicksilver though?
I kind of hope so.
That'd be crazy.
It would be a cool way to bring him back, and it would make sense, and it'd be nice, because he shouldn't have died that way in the first movie that we ever seen him in. All right. The dude who had super speed, and he was like moving people out of a speeding train, push them out the way and get away from the bullets. But okay, if you say so, Joss Whedon. He got shot. Okay. Okay. If you say so.
It was a red helicopter that she found in the bushes. So I think that has something to do with something. I can't.
Yeah, I think that might have been like a real helicopter that it tried to go in through the bubble dimension, but I think once it entered the bubble dimension, it turned into a toy. Also, I think maybe that's where Monica Rambeau came from, but I think once she entered the dimension, it made her forget, and that's why she's like taking part of everything. Yeah. So I think something like that, because I think she's trying so hard to keep this world going. Yeah. And I think the other reason why it's TV shows is because she grew up in like a third world or Europe,
yeah,
non-American companies. She probably grew up as a kid watching American old TV shows, and so she's like recreating the thing for her youth that like brought her comfort.
Right.
I think also why it's kind of, and it works, for the story.
Yeah.
But I liked it so far. It's pretty cool. I have no idea what's really going on.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, and they're kind of hating it, but I think those are people who don't really understand the Scarlet Witch character. If you understand the Scarlet Witch character, like she goes through shit like this a lot, where she plays these fucking mind games with herself, and then she doesn't know that she's in some shit. So with me, I'm watching it because it's kind of like watching Watchmen. It's kind of like watching Watchmen. You got to watch out for these clues, and then like it'll tie together eventually. Because every time the show ends, you'll hear somebody saying "Wanda, Wanda," like screaming at her.
Who's doing
like,
this to you?
Yeah, like who's doing this to her? Like probably herself. I don't know. Like,
exactly. So that's probably more sword agents or whatever somebody's trying to talk to her.
Yeah.
So the only question is she doing it 100% on her own, or was somebody like affecting her? Is she being controlled by somebody essentially?
Yeah. That's
the only.
But the show's funny though. The show is definitely funny for it to be as cheesy, like with a 40s sitcom. That shit is funny. Like when when Vision had the gum in his fucking system, and then he was acting like he was drunk. Yeah. This nigga was lit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's fucked up. This nigga was toe up for the flow up.
That shit was crazy. There was another scene that kind of freaked me out. Like when she had guests over for dinner, and the dude was choking. And then, like, what was the wife saying? She was like, stop it. Some shit like that. She just kept repeating herself. I was like,
yeah, that's weird. And then when they was doing the talent show, it's like, and it's for the children.
Yeah.
And it's for the children. And it's for the children. And then at the end of the episode, she's pregnant now. Yeah. So, like, there is something going on. And then also, I think her neighbor might be in on it. Mm-hmm. The Catherine Hahn character, the one who...
the one that was in Step Brothers?
I think she might be on it. I think so. But we'll find out. And obviously, at the end of the episode, it turned to color. So, like, that's the other thing, too. Yeah. So, that's not going to stay in the 1940s. It's going to move on. So, I think now we're at the colorized version of those shows. And then I think after that, we'll probably get to, like, 70s Brady Bunch type of shit until we get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this shit so far. I don't know how to rate it.
It was good,
man. Rating it based off of what I know, I'd give it like a 7 based off of what I know.
Same.
Yeah, like a lot of people, like I said, is not gonna get it. Like there's people in the Discord be like, "Yo, I'm mad confused." Like I was like, "Yo, you don't know what Wanda's about?" It's just regular
confused.
Shit.
And it's sort of out of the blue for the character, sort of, because you don't know anything about her reality warping powers.
Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah, they don't really touch on that much. That's the funny thing. The only time they touched on that was Age of Ultron. It was like a little bit. Remember when they was fucking with everybody's mind? I think Thor. Yeah, that's how he found where his stone was at, and they was fucking with Bruce Banner. That's why he turned into the Hulk and was raging and shit like that.
Yeah, that was like the most of it. She
and that was about it after that.
Gave him dreams.
Else. Yeah,
she didn't make a pocket dimension. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. So even in the dimension, like if you're paying attention, she's actively using her reality warping powers. Yeah. Like when she was trying to cook, she turned the chicken into eggs and all that kind of shit. Like so you can even see that like she's getting more powerful with that. She's like doing shit that she's never done before. Like she's actually warping things and changing shit like that. So
you're probably mentally depressed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Vision's gone or some shit like that.
Yeah, so she wants to make a world where Vision exists again.
Right.
So then she's stuck in her grief, or somebody's feeding off her grief or some shit, and I think that's what that's what happened.
Yeah, but I like it so far.
Yeah, I like it so far too, and I just want to know what all the implications are going forward. What this changes, what this makes.
Yeah.
I'm curious about.
Yeah, we'll see.